4 p.m. The Lucas Street St. George's branch operates Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Fridays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For the Grandans branch, Monday to Thursday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Fridays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, Bruce Street Mall, St. George's, your one-stop destination for all things beauty. Hair services, relaxes, waves, treatments, braids, cornrows, natural hairstyles, locks and lock installation, wig installation, nail services, acrylic nails, gel nails, pedicures, and more. Call or WhatsApp us today, 1473-403-4421 to book your appointment today.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to Success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience a taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side. Hear the airwaves free. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth, I flow like Mount
chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Nutmeg in the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Reel up the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriaco shores to the Crater Lake Deep. Real expression loud and the nation loves. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation.
In Grenada, we supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
It is real, it's 91.9. Drums, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the nation. Brother Bandy, good morning. I read from the Word of God, 107. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Let the remembrance of the Lord say so, whom he had reminded from the hands of the enemies, and gathered them out of the land from the east and from the west, and from the south and from the west, from the north and from the south, and wandered in the wilderness in a solidarity way. They found no city to dwell in. This is the end of the scripture this morning.
Good morning, Doll. What's up?
I'm there.
Everybody okay?
Yeah, for the time.
All right, wonderful. Take care and have a wonderful day.
I heard you last night.
You heard me last night? You sure it's me?
Yes, it's you. And God bless. God bless everything.
All right, darling. I hear you. Take care.
Have a lovely day.
You too. It's real. It's 91. Good morning. Yeah.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sessions.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sessions.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sessions. Sessions. Express your style with Color by Sessions.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience a taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we're growing real.
From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly. Planted pride in every row, Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call, banana nutmeg feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. Grow real, grow Grenada, heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now revealed. Voices strong with tales to share of heritage, love, and country care. Let the young and old unite, real expression shining bright. Agriculture is the way to build tomorrow from today. Grow real, grow Grenada, part of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. Soil to soul, we strong like lava. On the air, our stories thrive. Agriculture keeps us alive. Real FM, where the roots go deep. Agriculture Thursday, we sow and reap.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Classic Furniture. Our items are made from the best local wood available on island. Our products are made with love, care, and the experience we have gained over the years. Why do you even contemplate using substandard furniture, which is imported, when you can get the best made right here in Grenada? Our factory is located in the cultural village of Chantimel and our showroom on Ben Jones Street, St. Andrew. We are also noted for refurbishing that piece of furniture to its initial look. When looking for quality furniture, there is only one place to look, and that's Classic Furniture, where we take care of your needs with utmost care. So give us a call today and put your furniture woes to rest. Classic Furniture, where love and luxury is combined to provide the ultimate satisfaction. Call us today on 442-4645. Classic Furniture.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience a taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. A night for my night. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth I flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe.
Good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Carriacou. P.D. Martini. Good morning to you lovely people, too. Let's mosey on down to the Morris Bishop International Airport Meteorological Office. And this morning, we've got forecaster Jonathan Price. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning to you and good morning, listeners. Here is the weather for today, Thursday, the 22nd of January, 2026, as recorded at the Morris Bishop International Airport. It is currently fair. The winds are coming from the east at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1012.3 millibars, which is below normal and rising. Present temperature is 26 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 82%. Yesterday's maximum was 30.4 degrees Celsius and the minimum last night 25.8 degrees Celsius. 0.3 millimeters of rainfall was recorded over the past 24 hours, which brings the total for the month so far to 28.4 millimeters. And now for the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique Valley for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with brief isolated showers. Today's max will be 30.5 degrees Celsius with winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas will be moderate to rough with waves 6 to 9 feet in northeasterly to easterly swells, hence a marine advisory remains in effect. High tide will be at 11:30 a.m. and low tide at 5:30 p.m. Sunset will be at 6:05 and sunrise at 6:32. Just to repeat the public forecast for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy with brief isolated showers, and once again a marine advisory remains in effect. From the forecasters scanning Morris Bishop International Airport, I'm Jonathan Price. Have a great day.
Have a wonderful day yourself, my friend. It's real. It's 91.9, 91.5. 27 minutes after 7 o'clock hour. Let's rock and roll, friends. Let's continue to rock and roll. With the music of what? Sweet Grenada? Yeah, beautiful Grenada. Happy Independence, Grenada. Celebrating 52 years in a couple of days. Wow, that's great. That's wonderful.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we growing real.
From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly. Plenty pride in every row. Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call. Banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. Brave, grow real, grow Grenada. Heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now revealed. Voices strong with tales to share of heritage, love and country care. Let the young and old unite, real expression shining bright. Agriculture is the way to build tomorrow from today. Grow real, grow Grenada. Heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, agri proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. Soil to soul, we strong like lava. On the air, our stories thrive. Agriculture keeps us alive. Real FM, where the roots go deep. Agriculture Thursday, we sow and reap.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience a taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person.
Fast Pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
You asked for it and you got
got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow FastPay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow FastPay. Flow FastPay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. For we people, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come, let your rhythm flow.
Step into a world where confidence feels like silk and elegance follows you like a shadow in the night. At Lume Noir, every piece is crafted to captivate. Bold, refined, and irresistibly sophisticated, from the deep midnight tones to the gold accents that whisper luxury. This is fashion designed to turn every entrance into a moment where desire live unforgettable. Own the night with Lume Noir.
Explore the full collection at lumenoir.store. lumenoir.store.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, where the airwaves free read. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Grand Anse to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I'd let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the ear. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound when make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound when make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, use them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Reel up the truth, select and let the people speak. 91.9 no weak heart, no meek. From Carriacou shores to the Crater Lake deep. Real expression loud and the nation loves. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word release. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise.
morning, Grenada.
Real vibration.
Good morning, Caribbean.
Mind the soul of the nation.
Morning to the world.
Keep the frequency alive. No hesitation. Grenada's voice rise.
Yeah. You know, I usually tell you I'm having one of those mornings. No, well, I'm not having one of those mornings. One of those mornings is at present having me. Trust me. I woke up great. I woke up really, really great this morning. And I've been having these kind of like headaches, dizzy spells, kind of like these mornings that, well, throughout the days and stuff. And I've been trying to find out what the heck is causing that. And it's only this morning, you know, I believe that I kind of realized what's causing it. Well, most, if not all of you know that I wear glasses, right? Yeah. And something's wrong with the glasses. Something's really wrong. So I'd have to go back and recheck my eyes and stuff. Yeah, because it's not really cutting it, because I was fine up until I put the glasses on this morning. I had them on, and then when I came in here and I took them off and I put them back on again, and that is when everything started to go amok. So I'd have to, I don't know if it's, I really don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I know that I'm having some problems with the glasses. And I have a pair for using in here. But that pair I forgot this morning. So I only have the other pair, which is for walking around and driving and so on. But yeah, it's not doing me good. I've had to take them off. They're not doing me too well at all. Not this morning. So what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I just thought I'd let you know. Let you know how your boy going. What's up? How you doing? How's life, man? Yeah. Rastas. Rasta day in donkey glory. No, Rasta day in donkey glory, man. All that happening. Yeah, well, it's all good. It's all good. Tired all there running about in the bush. Yeah. Tired for liquid in a valley. Who said that? Was it Jacob Killer? Tired for liquid in a bush. Tired for liquid in a gully. We want to come out in the open where the air is fresh and clean. Yeah, Rasta. No, only the true Rastas could identify with that song. That's a song from Ian's, man. Yeah. Long time ago. Yeah, I think it was Jacob Miller. Yeah, man. Tired for liquid in a bush. Tired for liquid in a valley. You want to come out in the open where the air is fresh and clean. Boop. Yeah. But again, I congratulate the administration for continuing the work of the former administration. Yeah, that is what was done. But they went a bit further, but I believe that they left too many loopholes. That's just my belief on it. I'll probably have some conversation with the likes of BJ when he gets in here this morning, and if Dr. Twine comes in or if he links us up, I will also like to hear what Dr. Twine has to say about the whole thing. And and then get their perspective on how it positively and of course negatively affects agriculture in Grenada. One of the things that I believe I like in the old bill is that you can't sell it. You can't sell it. Yeah, I think I heard that in the bill. You can't sell it, and that is brilliant. No? What you want to sell for? Yeah. So you can't go up in how you call the place? You can't go in St. Vincent and buy your weed and come down and feel you want to come and sell. We lock you up. Yeah, we'll put you away with that. Plant your tree. How many trees you have? 4? 4? Yeah. Plant your 4 trees. That's the only thing, as I said to the folks, I'm not able to understand right now. 4 trees per person or 4 trees per household? Yeah, you know, because if somebody like BJ wants to drink, if BJ wants to drink it, he wants to boil it and drink it, and he can plant his 4 trees, okay. But what happens if BJ's wife wants to eat? And can she plant her 4 trees and eat? That is something I really believe that I need to investigate further to realize whether or not it's 4 trees per household or 4 trees per person. Because if me and you live in the same house, we ain't going to be talking now. And I'll say, don't touch my weed. So when I plant my 4 trees, I mine. What about my brother who I ain't talking to and he want the 4 trees also? So I don't know. But let's take it. We'll take it step by step. Well, I guess we don't have a choice, but we had to do something. Stick on the step and make sure they take the step. All right? Stay with us. I'll be back.
This is Real Xpressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we growing real.
From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly, planting pride in every row. Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call, banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. We grow real, grow Grenada, heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now revealed. Voices strong with tales to share of heritage, love, and country care. Let the young and old unite, real expression shining bright. Agriculture is the way to build tomorrow from today. We grow real, grow Grenada, heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, agri proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. Soil to soul, we strong like lava. On the air, our stories thrive. Agriculture keeps us alive. Real FM, where the roots go deep. Agriculture Thursday, we sow and reap.
Grenville Cooperative Credit Union Limited advises members and the general public of new operating hours at its branches. The Customer Service Center at Seton Brown Street, Grenville, is open Monday to Thursday 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and on Friday 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The main office on Jubilee Street, Grenville, is open Monday to Thursday 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Fridays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Lucas Street St. George's branch operates Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Fridays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For the Grandance branch, Monday to Thursday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Fridays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, Bruce Street Mall, St. George's, your one-stop destination for all things beauty. Hair services, relaxes, waves, treatments, braids, cornrows, natural hairstyles, locks and lock installation, wig installation, nail services, acrylic nails, gel nails, pedicures, and more. Call or WhatsApp us today, 1473-403-4421 to book your appointment today.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky.
Hello and welcome listeners to season 9 of Did You Know? A 5-minute feature of the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union. I am your presenter, Oslin Crosby. As we begin a new season in a new year, we say thank you for your unwavering support, contributions, and suggestions. As Calvin Coolidge said, all growth depends upon activity. There is no development physically or intellectually without effort, and effort means work. End of quote. At the GCCU, we have personified this quote, ensuring programs and activities appeal to the needs of members. As we embrace the new year, we encourage you to grow. As John Henry Newman says, growth is the only evidence of life. We'll start this year's season on a note of gratitude, saying thank you to a pillar of the GCCU as he transitions from active duty to retirement. Leroy Cadet has provided a lifetime of dedicated service to the GCCU and the broader cooperative league in Grenada. In 1984, Mr. Cadet played a critical role in the revival of the GCCU through volunteer leadership and later staff service. The GCCU on Saturday, 10th January, held a ceremony to honor the contribution of Mr. Leroy Cadet. President of the GCCU is Mr. Tafawa Pear.
Mr. Cadet's career with this credit union represents more than years of employment or service. It represents loyalty, discipline, professionalism, and deep commitment to our members and to the cooperative movement. Through periods of growth, challenge, modernization, and change, Mr. Leroy remained steady, dependable, and focused on doing just what was right for this institution. Behind every successful organization are people who are quietly carrying the weight of responsibility with integrity. Mr. Cadet has been one of those persons. His work ethic, institutional knowledge, and I say again, institutional knowledge and calm leadership have helped to shape this movement into the strong, trusted financial institution it is today. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management, and staff and members, I want to express our sincere gratitude to you for the years you've served faithfully. You leave behind not only a job well done, but a legacy of excellence that will continue to guide those who follow.
We are due now for a break. More when we return.
Grenville Cooperative Credit Union Limited advises members and the general public of new operating hours at its branches. The Customer Service Center at Seaton Brown Street, Grenville, is open Monday to Thursday 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and on Friday 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The main office on Jubilee Street, Grenville, is open Monday to Thursday 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Fridays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Lucas Street St. George's branch operates Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Fridays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For the Grandans branch, Monday to Thursday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Fridays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us on this week's program, we are sharing excerpts of the retirement ceremony held for Mr. Leroy Cadet. The measure of a man's contribution is not determined by how many years he served, but by how many lives he has positively impacted on his journey.
Mr. Cadet was very instrumental in ensuring that the mechanism employed to keep the credit union profitable were in alignment with the Act and bylaws. Our working together was always a learning process as new challenges emerged. He would immediately lead us to the articles in the Act and bylaws that will speak to each challenge. During my tenure, we worked on many projects, faced some real serious issues that demanded out-of-the-box solutions. And each time, Mr. Cadet was there with his Act and bylaws to back up what he was telling us.
And that's it for this week. Next week, we will continue sharing excerpts of Mr. Cadet's retirement ceremony as the GCCU continue to say thank you to a stalwart and pioneer of its long, successful history. I am your presenter, Ocelyn Crosby. Grenville Credit Union, your financial institution who values our membership and strives to provide exceptional customer service.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to Success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience a taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person this.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. On the radio see. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Grandens to
to St. George this. The people them a shout. Real expression now idle. Let your heart pour out. Ooh, oh, microphone to the heavens. The signal strong and clear.
Good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Caribbean. Good morning to the world once again. Beautiful. There's a song goes, wonderful world, beautiful people, you and your girl, you could be sweet. Oh, yeah. That was Jimmy Cliff. Yeah. And then the other one, tired feel liquid in a bush, tired feel liquid in a valley, me want to come out in the open, where the breeze is fresh and clean. Morning, Bertrand.
Morning, Andre.
You know that song?
Yes, Andre.
You do?
Yes.
Did I song like I could sing?
The great Jacob Killer.
Jacob Killer Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Tired for liquid in a bush. Tired for liquid in a valley. Me want to come out in the open, where the breeze is fresh and clean. So, what happened with you now?
With what?
Well, you and all Rastaman, right now, Rastaman, Brighton, they happening. Not so?
With?
Well, the passage of the bill.
Well,
yeah.
It passed in one house. Had to be debated in another house.
Ain't nothing strange gonna happen there. It's gonna go through. Believe you me, it's gonna go through. Wow, that head killing me, brother. Damn, I can barely keep my eyes open.
Andrew, over the years I've been giving my input in relation to marijuana. And if you play some of the tapes, you will hear what my position is with regard to ganja. And I think the passing of that bill is good. However, I keep hearing a lot of people saying, what if and what if and what if. I always say that proper consultation needs to be done when you're having bills like that, when you want to pass them. Because it's not just a decision that you have to make. That require people input, and you have to have proper consultation, and you need to send out proper bulletin to the.
But there was the government said that there was consultation.
Andre, what consultation you're talking about? Andre, if you have proper consultation, you wouldn't have all this what if. You wouldn't have all these questions following. That's the reason for consultation.
Okay.
So by the time you decide to pass the bill, people are clear as to what it is you're going to do. And if there are gray areas, people should be satisfied. Hang on, you know something? We can afford to take that risk. That's what you talk about, good government. You hear them always talking about local government? Yeah. People in St. Patrick's should totally aware as to, what are the consequences of doing that, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, all of those things. Consultation, you visit a parish and you have a 7 o'clock business where some people come and talk their foolishness. And then the next generation, the people who you're really supposed to talk to in relation to that, they knows nothing about that. That should be discussed even at the school level.
So you're saying not enough consultation?
Nope. There are enough time,
okay.
but not enough consultation with the people.
Let me ask you this then. Are you speaking as Bertrand John, or are you speaking as Bertrand John, the politician?
No, I'm speaking as Bertrand. When I'm on the radio station on a Thursday, it's just as Bertrand John. I try to leave politics out of that.
Unless you say, well, okay, I am speaking politically.
Yeah, you have certain things that you ask me, and I would say, Andrew, something politically, I'm not supposed to talk about this, based on what, what's my intention. Andre, I always looking at marijuana from a different angle from most people. Ganja should be looked at as a crop, a high value crop. And Grenada should not get involved in the production of marijuana just for domestic purposes.
Which is smoke.
That is stupidness. We should be looking to make serious amount of money from marijuana if it's cultivated in the right,
But then again, BT, we still have another problem here.
What's the problem?
And I want when Doc comes on, he's there, but I'm not seeing him yet. But when he comes on, I want him to speak to this problem that I believe we have. BJ, the monies made from marijuana, the United States as a whole, they still have not accepted this. So how are we gonna trade it?
Like how they trade in the aisle.
How
So
we trade it?
you say, hang on. All right, Iran, I will give you some oil from Venezuela. You don't have to give the money because they're gonna have a trace on the money. We can take goods for the money or some other things
But
for
how
the
are
money.
you getting the goods to Iran?
In the first case, how the Venezuela oil get there?
No. Let's be honest. I
No,
mean,
some countries they put a blockade, some countries it's free roll. How could I ask you one question, Andre?
Sure.
And
Yes. I hope I can answer.
I'm sure you could. How do we get ganja that produced in America in Grenada?
Smuggle?
Oh.
Yeah, but that's smuggling that the
I'm not saying you should smuggle.
No.
I'm saying that as far as
I
I'm concerned,
totally agree.
Andre, if you have proper market for this thing, because it's not just ganja, you just don't use for smoking only. You can do other things with it. If you have proper market for Grenada ganja, and say you decide to grow pharmaceutical ganja for pharmaceutical company and stuff like that, and they can go through the right regulations and do the right things, I'm sure you're able to export those things in a controlled way. I'm sure of that.
Doc is on. Let's bring him into the conversation as soon as he's there. Dr. Antoine, good morning to you. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, Brother Andre. Good morning, Comrade.
Okay. Hold on there, Doc.
Comrade
Hold on
Bertrand.
there.
Yes.
Are you there, Doc?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're there. You there? Still keep talking.
I know I was just saying
you're
good morning
hearing me,
to
but
you,
I'm not
comrades,
hearing
and
you,
and to our listening audience out
let's
there.
see if we can do it this way. You there now?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, great. I'm hearing
Yes.
you. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm trying to be better this morning. You know, it kind of fills me to death. The issue of marijuana being a priority or important aspect of our policy making versus the importance and need for a better and higher quality educational program and the need for a structured, well-planned scheme or project for developing the agricultural sector alongside R&D and an agricultural college. In other words, I am kind of concerned about what our priorities are, If you spend time discussing an issue of marijuana, which should have been a far gone, many years ago done issue, as opposed to now, and we have serious issues and problems facing us as regards the quality and content of our educational programs and the faltering of our agricultural sector, then I'm forced to ask, what is our priority, And that's what bothers me most just now about the decision to deal with this policy of marijuana, coupled with, of course, previous issues of quote-unquote age at which children are allowed to make decisions on their own. I'm bothered. I'm bothered seriously because we seem not focused on the long-term issues that we should be dealing with for the sustained long-term development of our society. That's my perspective.
So are you saying? So, Doc, I'm trying to figure out. Maybe it's because I have a serious headache this morning, so I'm trying to figure out. What are you really saying? They shouldn't have passed the bill? Is that what you said?
I'm saying that the time spent debating and discussing marijuana and the production of that should not be surpass the importance and override the importance of a serious, improved, better quality education up to the university level. If we do not have a brain power in our society for helping to move and develop our economy, and then we'll be left behind as we've been left behind for the last 45 years. The brain power that we need at this point is lacking for our national development, and yet still we're discussing a trivial issue. I think while it might have some potential economic benefits, but I think it's an issue that should be of lesser priority than, say, the issue of how we move our agricultural sector forward, how we develop the agricultural college and all institutions that can work in tandem with the agricultural sector for ensuring this long-term goal of food sovereignty. So that's what bothers me most, and I'm kind of disappointed that our priorities seem not to be what ought to be. That's my opinion.
So this is what I'm getting. I don't know what BJ is getting, but I'm getting that you're saying education over decriminalization. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that issue of decriminalization, as far as I'm concerned, should never be issue. I mean, if a man having a spliff, that by golly, that's a herb. Everybody smokes tobacco, or many people smoke tobacco. What's the problem with smoking black sage, or what's the problem with smoking with sugar dish, or what's the problem smoking with lemongrass? Is somebody not? We not the ones who criminalize marijuana. Marijuana used to be used way back in the late 1800s, 1900s as a relaxation means when workers came from the field, and there was no issue with dealing with the issue, no criminalization of that. The criminalization came about when some foreign forces thought, okay, there's potential for economic benefits from that, so let's criminalize it so that these people can't benefit from it, and let's do our research to get where we need to be. As BJ referred to earlier on, there is more to smoking marijuana, than consider the fact that they have a lot of chemicals that have been being extracted for medicinal purposes, including the question of anti-cancer properties, including the question of glaucoma, including the question of pain relief, And here we're just talking about smoking, So BJ has a very valid point, but that point also highlights the fact that as a society, we seem to have our priorities skewed. And it's skewed because instead of investigating and ensuring we could use the marijuana to develop the economy per se, and instead of dealing with the issue and the priority of education and the need for a higher quality, better quality education in cooperation and in tandem with building the agricultural sector and institutions that will support that sector, we're dealing with, in my opinion, a more trivial issue. So that's what I'm saying, Andrew Donald.
And I will admit to you that you've said a lot of things there, explaining on more than one occasion. You've explained what you said, but Doc, they head the rapping around it this morning.
That's okay.
No, I think Doc is making a very, very, very important point here, Andrew, that I keep forgetting. You as a leader have to prioritize. You have to do things that is important. And as far as Doc is concerned, the whole issue and energy that we are spending on marijuana production now, or thinking about producing marijuana, that should be a conclusion that we did with long time ago. We should be concentrating, according to Doc, on how we educating the population, what we're doing for the next generation. In fact, research and development, Andre, we don't seem to be putting enough money and emphasis in that. We're missing the boat. We're missing the opportunity. Ganja for domestic consumption is a waste of time. Yes, you can do it if you want to, and because it's in demand and your population may want it. But what about the revenue that can derive from doing such a thing, like extracting the oil, coming up with compounds, pharmaceutical compounds that can, you can earn a lot of money from those things, and you can create employment, and so you can create an industry. But the mere fact that we just seem to think, oh, everybody can plant up 5, 10 trees and everybody can smoke, that's the wrong approach and the wrong dimension to look at ganja from.
Well, what I gathered from the bill, what I gathered more than anything else is that hey, you're free to smoke, but I I was a smoker. I smoked cigarettes. Never was into smoking weed, and I have grown to learn that hey, smoke is dangerous to your health. Now it's not cigarette smoke. It's not black sage smoke. It's not marijuana smoke. It's smoke in general. Carbon, what is it?
Carbon monoxide.
Monoxide? Is that it? Is that what it is, Doc?
Yes.
Carbon monoxide should not be entering the lungs.
Correct. You have to
So,
minimize that.
right. So we already taking too much when the vehicles pass by. We already taking in too much. But now the thing is that, hey, Grenada, you're free to smoke weed. I ain't hear nobody talking about, okay, fine, we gotta prepare a meal, put it in some rice, let some people get high. I ain't hear nobody talking about that shit. Everybody talking about, well, I can smoke now. And that is sad, isn't it?
But Andre, they have ganja shop and stuff in the US where you can go in and buy, and then not just ganja, but you can find other things like fudge and candies and whatever, a different grade and different level, and you know what it is you're buying and those kind of thing. We need to reach that level. I heard somebody was Kami was saying yesterday, hang on, you know something, there are some old weed that you smoke and nothing will happen to you.
Yeah.
And there are some that you just take one pull and that's the end of that. Well, you shouldn't be guessing those things, Andre. You should go and buy what it is that you are looking for. Those kind of things. People should be educated along that line. People who want to use it at the same time. You should be basically educating your population every single day that hang on, smoking is dangerous for your health. Hence the reason that even if when you're doing those things in them, government need to have certain control over those things, Andre, or else you can have abuse of the substance. Even in like rum and stuff like that, people drink, and drinking a little rum, I don't think it's too bad. When you want to drink and fall down and can't keep the balance, and that's a different thing altogether. You understand? It's how you use the product, and you need to educate your people how to use the product.
Doc, you know a lot about medicine.
Just a little. I'm not a medical
Yeah,
practitioner.
you're not a medical practitioner, but you should know quite a lot. You know more than I do. And I one of the MPs in Parliament on Tuesday said that alcohol, let me paraphrase, alcohol causes more problem than marijuana. Speak to that.
I do not have any statistical data to refer to that.
And that person went on further to speak about man drinking and going home and beating up wife, beating children, wanting to fight with people and everything when they drink alcohol. And that gave me the impression that person believed that when you smoke marijuana, you don't do anything.
Well, there are a number of things to consider here. Like I just said, I'm not a medical specialist. Neither do I have any data as regards the factors that are affected by use of marijuana and alcohol. What I can say is this. Yes, there are some people who abuse the use of alcohol, but bear in mind that alcohol is used in many of our medicinal products, right? Period. There's no disputing that fact. Marijuana has since been identified as a potential source of many medicinal properties. Okay, so there are pros for both and cons against both issues. The person speaking, though, probably needed to provide us some statistical data reflecting his point. And in the absence of that, what's the basis for his claim? Let me just highlight a couple things. I am aware that there are quite a number of people who abuse alcohol and end up being non-productive. But I'm also aware that there are quite a number of people who use marijuana and became mentally ill permanently. So we have to, look at those issues. But there's a reason why too many of our people abuse alcohol in the first instance. In many instances, it's a result of social and economic pressures weighing against them or on them that leads them to alleviating their pressures by drinking away the pressures using alcohol, or in some cases, smoking away those pressures. So there's a social factor responsible for abuse of those substances. I'm aware that there are people who use marijuana for relaxation purposes, and that's been a centuries-old practice here in the Caribbean. Remember, I said that way back in the late 1800s when the indentured Indian servants came in. They came up with the idea of marijuana as a relaxation product that they use after a hard day's work, and that's understood. It was not criminalized then, but it provided the relaxation some of them desired. In fact, they now refer to things as recreational drugs, and that's exactly what they're referring to, right? Recreational drugs refer to the use of marijuana and other substances for relaxation purposes. Okay.
But Doc, as you speak and you say recreational, the government as a whole, they spoke of the fact that marijuana should not be used for recreational purposes.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
That's a contradiction, because what else would you use it for?
Well, I am here thinking that the only reason why they decriminalized the thing was for Rasta to use it in a church.
Well, that's a cultural practice that we shouldn't even question, because there are churches that use wine as part of their ritual. The Rastafarian religion uses the marijuana as part of their religious ritual. So that's a cultural practice, or those are cultural practices we should be questioning. I mean, they've been decades old, centuries old traditions that we just know as normal. But now when you're talking about the product for personal use, without bearing in mind the potential, as BJ was referring to, it holds for economic benefits, then that's a different issue. And that's what we miss. That's where we're missing the point. Marijuana in our youth society should be focused on as a potential economic product that can bring great foreign exchange to Grenada, just as it does in Jamaica. But that's not what we focus on. Bearing in mind, I said earlier on, that we're looking at that use of marijuana, as you said, 2-3 floor plants, wherever wants to, versus as opposed to the issue and the greater importance of a higher and better quality education, whereby we can build the brain power we need to move Grenada's economy forward. Coupled with the fact that at the end of the day, while tourism would provide a lot of foreign exchange and money for helping to develop our economy, at the end of the day, agriculture is our greatest resource for economic development. There's the widest range and scope of opportunities and possibilities in the agricultural sector for Grenada economic development. And that is not being looked at in a serious way. I've not heard a serious debate about what are we going to do this year, for example, to make sure none of our mangoes goes to waste. What are we going to do this year to make sure none of our golden apples go to waste?
The Prime Minister said it already, Doc. You kind of missed the boat.
You can't miss the boat.
You missed the boat. He said it already. We're going to get the picker thing. The cherry picker. The trucks from...
Those are trivialities, Andre. I'm talking about the serious... Let me just tell you how serious potential mango and golden apple and other fruits have here. Mango, for example, right? The mango has the skin, it has the flesh, and it has the seed. Okay. The flesh can be used to make jams, juices, right? And eaten as a fresh fruit. The skin can be used as a source for mango flavor. So you could get the powdery flavor that has a unique myrcene characteristic to it. And myrcene is a compound found also in orange oil. Okay. And other compounds you could obtain from the mango, the compound that gives the mango flavor is an additional one that could be used in cosmetics. So when you shower, you wash your hair, etc., or use your skin cream, you get that mango flavor, just as you get cucumber flavors, right? And we don't look at those things. Talking about a picker is a trivial idea. I mean, come on, are we thinking
But
deeply?
that wasn't me. That was the prime minister. What you
Well,
talking?
I'm raising the question here now. So we need to begin to think much deeper and give greater and better thought to how we use our raw materials. So imagine the potential of mango having the fruit, the jams, jellies, juices, the skin for flavors, and a range of compounds that go into cosmetics and skincare. And then the ultimate waste product goes into composting material for replenishing our soil and enriching our soil. And here we are talking about a picker.
But that wasn't me.
But that's just one example, right? And I generally make the point that for any fruit or vegetable we have here in Grenada, there is a possibility of obtaining at least 3 commercial products. At least 3 commercial products that can result as a value added from the value adding processing.
I get
reach our society.
I get the feeling distinctly from you, and I must say it now. I get the feeling distinctly from you, Doc. After listening to you for all these years now, I am to realize that you are factory oriented.
Yes,
And
yes.
yes, you're factory oriented.
Agriculture oriented.
Yeah, you want to see how do you call it? With all my headache and thing,
Manufacturing sector.
the manufacturing sector grow and adding value to that's your favorite word, adding value to the product.
Andrew, that's the only way you can make money.
Yeah,
You don't have no two ways about it.
I get
There's a fundamental law, a basic law that we keep forgetting and repeating it all the time. Andrew, if you're selling a primary product, you can determine price. You only can determine price when you start processing and selling a secondary product. If you have mangoes and people don't buy the mangoes, in no time at all that mangoes will spoil. If you organize some pharmaceutical company whereby you're producing your cream and your lotion and whatever, Andre, that can stay on the shelf for years. You can start counting your stocks. You're going to stocks in green mangoes? No. People and the buyers, they realize that they can't keep the nutmegs for long. After 3 months, they got to call me and work out a deal with me. I don't have to buy for 3 months. I can pay them whatever I want. And your primary producers cannot determine price. In fact, they can't even grow your economy. For your economy to seriously grow, you have a daily processing. You have no two ways about that. What the countries that are just producing raw material, see what happens to them.
Doc?
Yeah, BJ is very well amplifying the very fact we've been trying to make for years, At the end of the day, value adding is what we need. In fact, too many of our political leaders actually talk about the importance and need for value adding, and yet the policies we pursue do not reflect what they're saying. There is discord between what they say and what they practice and apply. So the example that what BJ is saying is extremely, extremely, extremely important, And just as I illustrated the potential mango has for producing 3 different commercial products, the same principle apply for almost any other fruit, including the golden apple, the guava, the French cashew. What other fruits we have here? The oranges. My goodness, not just the oranges, We have the oranges, we have the grapefruit, we have the Gosport civil orange, right? We have the limes, we have the lemons. Consider the range of agricultural produce we have here, right? If we were to work towards developing sustained production and a larger scale production of those produce, and each of those products were put into the value added process or cycle whereby we achieve more out of each of those agricultural produce. Think of the potential benefit it has for our farmers in the first instance, the farmers' families, their children, and the overall economy in a general sense. And that very at its core is where I think personally, if we really seriously want to develop an economy, is where we need to put our efforts and attention and time. And yet, what do? We focus on a picker for our fruits. We focus on the triviality of using marijuana, something that's long been used for recreational purposes. In fact, I am aware of our people here in Butch Grove. He has actually used marijuana for various medicinal purposes, as an herbal medicine. So we are behind in terms of the use of marijuana. The whole idea of criminalization should have never occurred in the Caribbean, but yet still where are we?
Well, Doc, let's welcome our good friend, your good friend, our good friend. Uh, what's his name again? Dalton.
That's okay. That's okay. The headache is
That's how bad the headache is killing me this morning. I can't even concentrate.
I hope you would have taken some aspirins for that headache.
I take aspirin naturally. I do aspirin every day, so I don't want to
Yes, abuse it.
abuse it.
I think 15 minutes sleeps will work for that headache.
I don't know. It's killing, man. So, good morning, Dalton. How you doing?
Pleasant good morning, Mr. Donald, and your listening public, BJ.
Morning.
Morning, Dalton. So yeah, but that's the message I want to convey to our policymakers. Be irrespective of who the governing organization or institution be. The long and short is our priorities are in the wrong place, and we seem not to take into consideration the needs of the mass of our people in our situation, the mass of our farmers, for example, the needs of our school children, and the future of our society, the needs of our teachers, the needs of our nurses. Those are areas of social concern that we need to be interested in and discussing. But I don't know. I am not a policymaker. I am not an advisor to anyone. But I think we can use our program here, BJ, Andre, Dalton, as a platform for advocating for better prioritization of the needs of our society. And I think that's where we should be.
Great, Doc. 100% that we can use this program here to advance the case. Trust me, Andre, I cannot overemphasize the use of processing or the importance of processing. Think about it. Marijuana can produce oil, that oil can be sold for the use of, for seizure and all kind of thing and whatever.
Pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, why are we always thinking about smoking? I don't understand the promoting that, something like that. Government and policymakers need to get the priorities right. If we're going to do something like that, the next step should be following, hang on, we will grow in 300 acres. We'll be setting up a processing plant. We'll be producing X product for X place. You don't tell me nothing about marketing. You don't tell me nothing about, you say, grow 4 trees and everybody free up to use it. I'm mad people
I'm wondering if
that's what I'm point, Andre.
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
point BJ just made there should have been the issues being discussed in Parliament as regards how we can better make use of the marijuana plant to benefit our society in general, as opposed to the petty issue of being able to smoke a joint here or a joint there. And decriminalization should have never been an issue in the Caribbean, period. But I support BJ's last point there very much. Sorry, go ahead. My apologies.
No, that's okay. The thing is, Doc, I'm asking myself the question. If I wanted to grow a particular strain of marijuana and I brought in seeds, now, based on what the act says, I'm allowed 56 grams. That's about 2 ounces, right? So the seeds that I bring in, they're just about 2 ounces.
You just sell it or what? You know what ground on Why you conversion rate so fast?
Because I did the research. Would I be charged at the point of entry? If I was to buy seeds, make sure the seeds weighs 56 grams or less, and I come in with it, and the customs get me with that, would they be charging me?
Yeah, they have to be charged. You're going to be charged, Andre.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to import seeds without a license.
But it didn't say that.
All seeds, tomato seeds, any seeds.
Oh, okay.
You have to go to quarantine.
Gotta declare.
Mhm.
But you also need to raise the question, Andre. If you have X amount, whatever amount of seeds coming in, you also be assured that the people at the borders can accurately assess the weight and value of what you have. Because I've had the experience whereby at the border I was asked to declare my perfume that I bought, and the person couldn't convert mils to ounces, and they charged me even though I had less than the stipulated amount of perfume coming in. So that's another question that needs to be raised: the question of the ability of the border agents to accurately assess what you have and give it the right value. So I
The
paid
other
for something I shouldn't pay at all, but that's another issue.
The
I
other
couldn't
question
argue with him anyway.
The other question is,
Sorry?
there's another question.
Tell me.
So I grow my 4 trees, okay?
Yeah.
And my 4 trees, they will produce seeds.
Not supposed to. It depends on what you're growing it for. Andrea, ganja to smoke not supposed to have seeds,
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I grow my 4 trees. Trees produce seeds. Of course, as you just said, BJ, if I'm smoking, it ain't supposed to have seeds in it.
No.
So I'm going to take out the seeds. So what happened when I take out the seeds and I have more than 56 grams of seeds in my house?
100 people stop grow ganja that way. That's 1914. Now people grow ganja by cuttings. And it's only if you want only female, you get only female. A female can make a male.
You know how to make cotton?
Anja is a
I even
specialist.
know how to make cotton.
Of course, Anja, I'm a
Right,
specialist.
so check me. I want to grow my 4 trees. do you have flower pots, BJ? Doc, you have flower pots?
No, those are obtainable at the farmers shop, the agricultural shops. Yes.
But even that, here you decriminalize the thing. Andre, that's what I'm saying. Decriminalize is a big word, and most people just use that word. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to have control over this stuff, as a government. And as far as I'm concerned, before you start talking decriminalization, you should be basically creating the right environment, the right logistics. You should be putting it in place at Maryville, whereby somebody want 4 ganja tree, that's where they have to go and buy it.
Cuttings?
100%. in your propagating station, that's where you go and get this stuff, Andre. Like when you buy any other flower plant or you buy any other tree crop or whatever, you go and buy this stuff there. So you know what you're getting. You can get different strain there. So you don't have no issue with regard to varieties and stuff like that. Until we guessing this thing, we living like mad people. We just hearing about things and we just jumping into the thing without thinking and doing our research and stuff like that. Don't wonder why we just make decisions without data, Andre. It's like we wake up and we glad one morning when hear somebody do something, try to do it too, We are the data.
Yeah, we're good at parroting stuff, I don't know if Dalton wanted to say anything there.
Well, I was listening from early this morning. The marijuana issue here in Britain, the legislation that they passed or they read in Parliament, it created to me complexity of problems. There's a lot of gray area. And I was even talking to the Rasta men that was pioneers for the industry for years. And I was telling them, I know as a fact, the Canadian marijuana industry was lobbying countries in the region to go that route so that they would come in with the marijuana and sell it, because the industry for smokers, not just the people in the Caribbean, but the tourists that come to the Caribbean, is huge. It's a very large industry, and they want to be the major shareholder of that industry. And Grenada yet went down that road after looking at the Jamaica legislation, after looking at the Trinidad legislation, after looking at all the Caribbean countries that already have legislation in place, and look at the disadvantage of those legislation and the problem that they encounter, and we still go down in that road with so much gray areas and problem.
What happened in St. Vincent? Is it decriminalized or legalized?
No, St. Vincent have a depenalized and a medical industry. So that medical industry is for creating wealth, basically. The depenalization is all about you get a pass.
You
Even
don't
though
charge
you
people
break
for it.
the thing, you cannot be charged. So you are caught with more than 56 grams, they give you a ticket, like a speeding ticket, or a ticket the police issue in traffic. But and there is no limit on trees. Rastaman, by its own religion, is entitled to smoke marijuana and
But
grow marijuana.
who's a Rastaman?
A Rastaman is somebody that professes to be a Rastaman.
So anybody could be a Rastaman.
Well, then everybody entitled
anybody
to
could
smoke. You understand? So you don't create a
Jesus
legislation. The Rastaman have to define who they are, and you and government have to understand who is a Rastaman and who is not a Rastaman. Nobody that is not a Rastaman wouldn't
The court cannot argue with me about my belief.
Right.
So nobody can tell me I'm not a Rastaman.
So-
A Rastaman.
so
I'm
then-
growing me weed.
Here, in indigenous plants that was used culturally for centuries are protected internationally by international laws. So too is marijuana. So we are only confusing ourselves because an international agency or international government pressures into a particular way and a particular reasoning. But the marijuana industry, look, okay, that legislation in place. Now, marijuana has different genetics. Somebody that invests in creating their own genetics, you cannot come and grow that person's genetics, and that is big money you're talking about. Just the genetics alone of a particular plant is a lot of money. And I don't hear they talk about you must have a legislation, that legislation must engulf seed banking that covers and protect your seeds. And I remember when the industry now started in St. Vincent, and the organization I was involved in, we had people like Seedman. Seedman is the largest producer and the leading producer of seeds in the world. And he came and he told us, he said, look, do not bring in those foreign seeds. He creates seeds throughout, because St. Vincent has a lot of localized seeds that you could build from. And lo and behold, a lot of people bring in their seeds, and right now, that is one of the drawbacks. A lot of the indigenous farmers having problem with what they grow. Most of the seeds now becoming hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites may have its benefit in a particular way, but when you're growing marijuana is all about flower. If you're growing hemp, you grow male and female. You produce a different quality. The meantime you start smoking weed with seeds, it's creating headache.
But maybe they don't have any money that probably smoke that
Yes.
last night.
I smoke hemp.
Yeah.
You talk about it so much.
Yeah. So that is hemp. And a lot of people go to prison for hemp. They not marijuana. And then those gray areas in the law is what creating confusion. And but if government start from that foot, then they have to know how would we correct it, or it's just a precursor of saying that the industry will just die a natural death.
Let me ask you a question, Dalton. Based on what the government said, and I can only go based on what they said, in Parliament, there was consultation. You being someone who has interest in this and knows about it because you've been involved in it in St. Vincent. As a matter of fact, the first time I saw you was a picture I saw online where you were in a marijuana field and they had to keep the weeds down, you all had plastic.
Ground cover.
Yeah, ground cover. I saw you. That's the first time I saw you.
Okay.
I'm like, look at this guy. This guy is a ganja guy. But in any event, right? Now, were you involved? Did you get yourself involved, or did you know of any of the consultations that took place?
No, matter of fact, was me, Dr. Antoine, and I think Bob. We were initially when the government now came in power. We had a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture.
That would have been
Thomas.
Adrian
Yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah, and then I told him in that meeting that look, I'm involved in the marijuana industry in St. Vincent.
He's a ganja man.
And once the government made promise that they would go in that direction, I could be of any assistance. Then I spoke to the Rastamen, and I let them know, look, my involvement in St. Vincent. Matter of fact, the first delegation that went to, they had one consultation on the radio, on the TV. Dr. Thompson St. Vincent was a part of the program. And then they had some mastermen that asked some real intelligent question. And then Dr. Thompson called me and said, Doctor, I need to get these people coming to the first conference they was having in St. Vincent. And I reached out to those mastermen. I met Chucky, and I told him, I said, look, Dr. Thompson would like all to be up in St. Vincent. And I made the connection, and they went up for the first year. And I spoke to the different Rasta organizations, and I told them, I said, look, I'm involved, and look, here are some of the drawbacks. Here is, what I think we could work on and lobby government to go in that particular direction. But I was never invited or never heard of any consultation that I was able to take part of. So I've never been to any consultation really here.
So how can the people who are involved in the whole that committee, if people all over the island claiming still that they weren't part of consult?
Andre, it's how we do this stuff.
Yeah.
Andre, there are certain things that we do in Grenada that require mass participation, that require information to be disseminated in a mass way. If we're going to do something like decriminalization of marijuana, we need to basically utilize the TV, the radio, social media to reach out to people so nobody can say, hang on, I didn't hear and I didn't know on X, Y, and Z. But you can tell when some people, without planning properly, would have got up and do something that, that have so much gray areas that it confuses people even more. Andre, let me tell you something. 25 years ago, I come out from St. George's, another friend of me smoking him weed. So when I reached by Decal gas station, some students from T. Mary should stop for a ride. So I slowed down and I said, yo, all you can come inside here, man, I bought him weed here, And the kids and them say, BJ, what wrong with you? So I said, what that's about body weed that don't taking all your school children? They say, BJ, you smoking that since we in kindergarten, you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying 20 years ago? And yet still now people still are holding the conversation about, we don't want this and we long time, Andrew, we should be educating our population. We should do research and development in relation to ganja as a crop. We should do a long way in relation to that. How we think, how we handle, how we use, all of those things. We're wasting time. We don't get our priorities right.
But look at marijuana too as a soil purifier. The marijuana or the hemp is one of two plants that best extract heavy metals from your soil. And we have a cocoa industry that may run into problem with those heavy metals that would create problem for our cocoa. We could encourage farmers to grow it the way they classify as hemp, and then you use that same material now and make what they does make marijuana crete or hemp crete, another hemp product from those marijuana that you grow between the cocoa field to extract the heavy metal, and then we have a superb quality cocoa for international market. We don't have a good quality cocoa already. So there is multiple things.
Dalton, 30 years ago, I had some friends from Belize.
Yeah.
And they, get me to pass through Belize to see how they do the farming and stuff like that. And I said, they said, BJ, let's go and go into this huge ganja field, about 5 acres,
Wow.
Ganja.
Yeah, man. And them say, when I, whole heap of B-box and stuff, B-box line up inside, outside, everywhere. I say, what happened? I to protect the ganja. I say, "No, BJ, we don't go ganja to smoke. We go ganja to make ganja honey. So they put the bees inside of there, Andre, and the bees basically forage on the ganja and make the honey. The honey tasting just like ganja, wicked than what you smoke, And 30 years ago was $100 for a bottle, Now maybe about 500 US. The point I'm making, you can do many things with that. You can, it's not just about smoking.
But smoking is illicit.
It's
I think PJ is highlighting a very important aspect here, though. Dalton, Andre. You see, if we have a greater brain power within our society, if there's a better quality and higher quality education for the mass of our people, then we'll be innovative. BJ is making a classical reference to innovation by a people in Belize who probably have a much higher level of educational and innovative knowledge than we have. The point remains that here we're discussing the use of marijuana as a recreational product, whereas our comrades here, BJ and Dalton, are highlighting the potential the same product has for building a serious economic base as part of our overall agricultural program. Remember, the cannabis is a plant, but so too is the cocoa, so too is the orange plant, so too is our golden apple, and so too our bananas, etc., etc. So the production of higher quality varieties of the marijuana is not significantly different from that of cocoa or oranges or bananas, save for the fact that we have not been able to tap into the serious potential of each of those agricultural crops in terms of the economic benefit we can achieve from them. If we have the brain power, if we have the right research and development institutes such as an agricultural research center, if we have an academic center that allows us to develop techniques and methods for extracting and harvesting those crops, then ultimately we can begin to achieve greater benefits, significantly greater benefits from those agricultural crops. And imagine that you and I are here discussing the mere use of marijuana as opposed to how we can enhance the benefit we can get from those. How do we achieve that when the priority we place on education is up to the secondary school level? Today we have tens, if not hundreds of scholarships every year not being taken up by our students, And why is that the case? In the first instance, many of them are not advertised. And then when we're told about them, 2 weeks before the deadline. Meanwhile, the authorities would have had the information 6-12 months before. Here we're talking about marijuana as a trivial recreational product, as opposed to ensuring that more and more of our secondary school students move into and go into university studies, professional, vocational institutions to enhance and achieve greater professional and vocational skills and abilities to come back and solve the technical problems that you and I are highlighting this morning. The absence of a brain power innovative enough to make better use of the resources, the agricultural resources we have. But we can't do that when we don't have the necessary brain power. How many of our students from secondary school go into university every year? And those who do that, who are they? Most of them are the sons and daughters of the rich who could afford that. And given the fact that the content of the curricula we have in our secondary schools is lacking and deficient to the point where passes in various subjects like mathematics and English is just hovering around 35%. Come on. And the mass of scientific knowledge, in essence, is written in English language, and yet we gain 35% of every 100 can really understand and comprehend the scientific literature necessary for making use of scientific information that could be applied
You're
in the
starting to
process.
sound like Francis Spear.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Andre.
You're starting to sound like Francis Spear.
No, but I'm raising a serious philosophical point here. You know. We have been distracted from the real core issues facing the masses of our people. And we're dealing with peripheral issues.
So
Imagine
you
here
say,
we do not even have a national library, you know, Andre.
so you're saying now that the marijuana is a smoke screen?
I would say.
Give a caller. Let's hear what this caller is saying. Good day.
Yes, good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning to Doc BG.
Morning.
Yeah, speak up.
Morning.
Now, I want to give Dr. Antoine some stars. Because you see, I don't think we really need, yes, the higher education is one, but I think we're educated enough to do a lot. But we're stuck with this theory there. We don't go to the practical. So we just certify ourselves, and that's it, we stay right here. And we brag we have X certificate. I had been calling for many years for a scientific center and a technological center. Identify our scientists. Do we know the scientists we have in Grenada, where they are, and the capacity? Yeah? And when we determine that, we give them a scientific center and the things they need to do the experimentation. Yeah? And then as we create the formulas, we have the technological aspect to produce the final product. Yeah? But we have not gotten to the stage, and we're not moving into the stage. So how do we transform that sector? We have what you call Dr. Marcel, and he been one of the lead scientists. But what have he produced as a product on the market? Yeah? Very knowledgeable person. What do he produce? He stays there with his knowledge. Yeah? And we asking questions. We need to create final product for the benefit of the economy. And he's retired now. Who takes his place? And so that's where we are. We're stuck in theory. We're not going into the practical. We're not experimenting, so we cannot get to the final product of anything that we have. And that is one of our problems here. I don't know if it's the government that is totally responsible for that, but I will charge them responsibility of starting the ball rolling with a scientific center and a technological center. For all the scientists we have in Grenada, put them in a place. Let them do their thing. And I think we'll be better off in that area.
Let me just compliment. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
The speaker's point here, Andre. A couple of years ago, I wrote a proposal for the need to set up a Ministry of Science and Technology, which in essence is what is needed to guide, quote unquote, any scientific institution that's going to dive into serious research. That document was presented to various personnel within our current government, for example. And to date, I'm yet to hear of a a Ministry of Science and Technology that can guide the process of scientific research, making use of, quote unquote, all the scientists we have here in Grenada, including BJ as an agronomist, or the archaeologists like Dalton that we have here, and put them to work, yes, put them in their place, so that at the end of the day, we can see a process of scientific and economic development occurring. How could we make use of our scientists if we don't have the guidance and the infrastructure to make sure that they have the facilities and resources to do the research that they need to do? So yes, the caller is making a very valid point, which amplifies the point of the need for a Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation at that can literally on a daily basis guide the scientists using the resources and the institutions that need to be to ensure that we do the necessary research and product development that will help to move our economy forward. And yes, I agree with the caller 1,000%.
All right. Before we go on to anything else, Dr. Dalton, there's a message for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Dalton mentioned about a herb place located in 473 in St. George's. In St. George. I have been there twice looking for business in order to purchase some herbs. However, I've seen nothing. I would like some feedback on that, please. Can you please get some info when you are on the air today? So that's for me. So, Dr. Dalton, what about your herbs though?
Did they go to the quorum in 473?
I don't know.
Well, the store is named 473 is a complex where you have multiple food stores.
Where is that?
That's on right opposite, right after Huggins car distribution place on the Morris Bishop Highway.
Okay.
That place there, they have a big sign on the side of the road marked 473. And you get in there, there is a store they mark the quorum. And you go into the quorum and you'll get your tea,
Herbs,
your herbs, yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
I also now have it in a store at the bottom of Church Street. There's a herbal store that sell a lot of herbal products.
The Adventist store?
There used to be an Adventist store upstairs there, right there. As you enter that door, there is a herbal store on the left hand side of that building. Inside that building, the product is also in that store.
Okay, that's just after the bank, right?
Yeah, opposite the bank. Opposite the bank that used to be Barclays Bank. Right by the stoplight.
So, okay. Is the People's Pharmacy still there?
People's Pharmacy.
There used to be People's Pharmacy. BJ,
There used to be a People's Pharmacy.
You don't know. You know what
he's
I
a tongue. He's a tongue.
You know
and
what?
he's a tongue guy now.
Yeah, I haven't been. I don't go to the city anymore, so I don't know. People's Pharmacy. Doc, is People's Pharmacy still
Andre,
there?
I heard Jericho said once, two rat that don't want to leave the tongue. Was you and him, you know?
Lord, Lord. Anyway, we've got news coming up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the news, Doc, and I can tell you that BJ says he was praying that yourself and Dalton
could come and run the
on
show.
this morning.
So I can disappear.
So he can disappear because he has to go harvest bananas. The thing, he's been harvesting bananas and I have not gotten one grain of banana for the past 6 months, Doc. That's
Andre, you know what is ironic and astonishing? Before I leave, I probably would just say that. Doc is mentioning that, hang on, we need to educate ourselves to be productive. And, that requires certain level of, information in order to do those things. The caller was saying, hang on, something? Yes, we have a lot of scientists here and we pull our resources together. I'm more than sure we can get this thing right. Only this morning on your radio station or yesterday, can't remember, I heard one minister, or one ex-minister was saying, hang on, something? And he was minister for the last 20 years or so probably. And he was saying, something? I had some meeting in the St. Patrick's area. And it's good to see all the farmers and everybody come out from different, sector of the population. And the thing that stuck with me the most is to hear a farmer say that, hang on, we are having too much people talking in Grenada and nothing happening, nothing practical. But that man was a minister for the last 20 years. And he said that stuck with him, like you don't know, So where are we going? How are we going to make progress? If you doesn't know something like that, as far as the concern, you should be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't even say this thing publicly. The point I'm making, Andre, unless we don't change the status quo, we're forever going to have this kind of problem that we are having. Good morning, Grenada. I am off. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Dalton.
Good morning, BJ.
You're rested.
All right,
Don't
see you later.
don't
See you
move
next
yet.
time.
BJ, don't move yet. Don't move yet. We're gonna take a commercial break, and we, as they say, we will be back. This is real. This is 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. Stay with us.
Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Welcome to the latest update of news as produced by Triple N. We'll have the details when we return.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible. We go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Hello and welcome back. I am your presenter, Kira Gunport. The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry has announced the temporary closure of the St. Patrick Meat Market. The facility will be shut down from Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 through Thursday, February 5th, 2026. In the region in Trinidad and Tobago, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, has announced that a high-level delegation from the United Arab Emirates will visit Trinidad and Tobago from January 23rd to the 26th. We get more in this Ayana Quarter report.
Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, said the upcoming ministerial visit by Minister of State at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the United Arab Emirates, Noura bint Mohammed Al-Kabi, and her team is in keeping with this country's outreach efforts to forge new worldwide relationships and to advance Trinidad and Tobago's foreign policy and economic interests.
Based upon that clarion call made by the Honorable Prime Minister, the United Arab Emirates and many of the other Gulf nations would have reached out to Trinidad and Tobago around the middle of last year. And we had a visit from the ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to the CARICOM region in and around August of last year.
This visit, according to the minister, stems from bilateral discussions at the United Nations General Assembly held in September 2025, where Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar discussed several aspects, including cooperation in the oil and gas sector, air connectivity between the Middle East and Trinidad and Tobago, the development of a medical tourism industry, and the development of the Port of Spain.
The delegation will have extensive discussions with the Honorable Prime Minister, the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, the Minister of Land and Legal Affairs, the Minister of Public Administration, the Minister of Artificial Intelligence, and the Minister of Culture and Community Development. The delegation will also visit several sites in North, South, and Central Trinidad, identified in the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago's revitalization blueprint for foreign direct investment, including Invaders Bay, the Port of Point Lisas, the Couva Children's Hospital, just to name a few.
The delegation will also visit Tobago as guests of Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Farley Augustine, where sites that have been identified for investment opportunities will be visited.
And in sports, there are reports that a loan of $3 million from lead investor Winners Alliance has been offered to help Grand Slam track pay off some of his debts. After the meet, organizers recently declared bankruptcy. However, other details from the lender were not available, nor was it clear if Grand Slam track would accept the offer. This was a part of the deliberations coming from the first meeting of Grand Slam track creditors and its bankruptcy reorganization team. At the meeting, it acknowledged more than $30 million debt and just $7,300 in cash on hand. The next hearing dealing with interim financing is slated for the 2nd of February 2026. This ends the latest update of news as produced by Triple N. Thank you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
It is said the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest. Bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Check your calendar, mark the date because February 1st, all roads lead to success for the Breakwater Food Festival. Join us in the Lowtown and Breakwater for a full day of fun, flavor, and pure community vibe as we celebrate the best of the North. That's right, free food, live music, culture, games, and good times. Enjoy mouth-watering dishes from some of our favorite local food spots, sweet music in the air, and fun for friends, family, and visitors alike. So bring your appetite and your energy. We'll handle the rest. The Breakwater Food Festival, where food, fun, and community come together. Come, taste the North, feel the vibe, and experience the taste like never before. February 1st, Breakwater Food Festival. Don't miss it.
It wasn't me, but I can convince you. Whoever telling you about me is wrong person.
Classic Furniture. Our items are made from the best local wood available on island. Our products are made with love, care, and the experience we have gained over the years. Why do you even contemplate using substandard furniture, which is imported, when you can get the best made right here in Grenada? Our factory is located in the cultural village of Chantimel and our showroom on Ben Jones Street, St. Andrew. We are also noted for refurbishing that piece of furniture to its initial look. When looking for quality furniture, there is only one place to look, and that's Classic Furniture, where we take care of your needs with utmost care. So give us a call today and put your furniture woes to rest. Classic Furniture, where love and luxury is combined to provide the ultimate satisfaction.
Call us today on 442-4645.
Classic Furniture.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we're growing real. From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly, planting pride in every row. Green Day does fruits forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call, banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every.
It is real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. Broadcasting from studios located Main Street, Sateers, inside a beautiful historical St. Patrick.
It's Thursday, we're proud and wise.
In case you're wondering, my name is Andre Donald. Yeah, not up to the top of the scale today at all. Sonia, inside of New York, good morning to you. Well, no, good afternoon. Sonia, I understand that you got rid of the dogs? Wow. So you only have 3 cats?
Agriculture.
Or is it 4? I don't know. I already got rid of the dogs. Nonetheless, hope that you had a wonderful day, because when you be listening to this program, will be later on this evening. It's cold, yeah, I know.
It's Thursday, agree proud and wise on 91.9 Real FM.
It's real, it's 91.9, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. B just left us, and so I'm with Dr. Twine and Dr. Charles, Dr. Dalton Charles. So said one of our viewers or listeners or whatever. Dr. Twine, I believe you're still there with us.
Yes,
yeah?
I am, Andre. Yes, I'm.
Wonderful. Nice to have you. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Right, that's Dr. Twine there. That's okay. How am I doing this now? Okay, so I go back to here, and okay, that's it. Let's see if things can happen. Well, okay, Andre, where? Oh no, yeah, this one. Why am I not able to bring up Dr. Entwine here? I have to remove him from the stage or add him to the stage? Add and add. Why is it? Oh, I see. Right, there he is. Yeah, Doc. So the conversations this morning that we are having had to do with the whole aspect of the government and what they decided to do, decriminalizing of marijuana. And I have to state it here. I don't want anyone for any short moment to believe that we are against what the government have done. I believe that what we're saying, and correct me here, or agree or disagree with me here, what we're saying is that you've done it, but there are loopholes. Is that what we're saying?
I would say yes, but we're also saying more than just loopholes.
Okay.
We're raising the question of the focus of our priorities.
Yeah. Loopholes and priorities.
Yes. And having said that, I don't know if you allow me to amplify the point that our previous caller made as regards, pooling our scientists together. I want to make 2 additional points in relation to that. The first point I want to make is that the issue of scientific research is what, in essence, allow for application in the manufacturing sector. Okay, Research generates information and data that allow manufacturers to make use of various resources. So that the speaker was in essence saying, if we pull our scientists together, provide them the facilities and the resources necessary to do the R&D that will help our economy in the long term, then that will get applied in the manufacturing sector, which essentially, manufacturing is essentially the application of knowledge generated from R&D. And of course, that knowledge is generated by the scientists as a result of the investigative work relating to various products, fruits, vegetables, etc. But the second point I want to make is that the role of a Ministry of Science and Technology is what is essential at this point to ensure that from a government perspective, the government guides the development of research and the work of the scientists so as to ensure that the work serves the long-term interests of our people. In other words, the government must play a role in ensuring that there is a mechanism, a structure in place that harnesses the skills of the scientists in whatever field for the long-term benefit of our people. And it is the application of those results that will ultimately help in the improvement in our social and economic welfare and well-being here in Grenada. And in the absence of that, we'll continue to flounder in and wallow in our quote-unquote backward economic level, or whatever you want to describe it as. But those are the 2 points I want to amplify, use to amplify the point made by the previous speaker.
I'm gonna give you a laugh here, Doc. You remember
That's okay.
I said to you just now that you sound like Francis Pitt.
But maybe Francis Pitt sound like me.
Yeah, whatever. But then you started using language that make you sound like them revolution guys. You start talking about backward.
Well, no, you know, Andre,
Yeah.
the CIA report would describe Grenada's economy as a backward agricultural economy. So you know, the IMF would do the same thing. It's not literature describes the Grenadian economy as a backward economy. In other words, we have not developed our economy beyond the level of tourism and agriculture. And guess what? The agricultural sector is deteriorating because of the lack of attention and guidance. And what is evolving more and more is a question of the use of valuable agricultural lands for destructive construction that we consider development, as opposed to loss of potentially useful agricultural lands. So it's an issue that is worth discussing, maybe at the parliamentary level and the senatorial level. But it's something that we have to raise so that people get to understand that, look, we need to redirect our focus as regards doing things that serve the interests of the mass of our people. And if you think that sounds revolutionary, then so be it. But it's in the interest of our people.
No, it's just the word backward.
And that's okay.
That was backward. I'm like, okay, fine. Revolution. Here we go.
All right, Andre. I appreciate you. There. Yeah. So that's my issue there.
But you see, when I look at it, yeah, Doc, when I look at the whole thing, when I look at, you know, what is happening, what has happened, and you listen to what people are saying, and you get the feeling that there is a disconnect. While yes, the act has been passed in Parliament, well, in the lower house, and soon to be passed in the upper house, but you get that feeling that there is a disconnect, and that the only people that are going to benefit from this thing is the rastas, and that they will have it and they could smoke it and they can, you know, whatever, and they can, it's their sacrament and whatever. But nobody's talking, and I'm wondering if this isn't pulling wool over somebody's eyes, because nobody's talking about what can be earned from, for want of a better word, proper usage of this herb. Are we going to be using it to make oil? Are we going to be using it to make furniture? Grow the particular strain that can be used for furniture. The particular strain that can be used to make rope. The particular strain that can be used to make fabric, clothing. Where is going to be our focus? And I get the feeling that nobody's bothered about that. Everybody's bothered about let me smoke.
I don't know if doctor want to comment on that first.
Well, yes, and that was one of my initial problem with the talk prior to the bill being read in Parliament. And I was telling those Rastas, I say, look, I say, if you decriminalize, a Rasta man that went to jail a few years ago, he might be entitled now to take the government to court for reparation because he was in he was in prison for that. Rasta is always based on international law. Is always already have that right to smoke your weed. You now limit the Rasta to 56 grams, and you may sound as though if it's a good thing, but to the Rasta, you should be singing more song. You should know more of your rights as a Rasta. International laws is there. There's international organization. There's an international organization. I don't know if those Rastas in Grenada had linked up with them. The one of the representative is from Holland, and she was in the conference in St. Vincent this last year. But the problem arises, how would our people benefit the dollar effect? That commercial side of marijuana is what is important. That is what you want to move your social economic development in the country. You want to be part of that industry. When we look at now, everybody, let's say California, everybody going to greenhouse, growing marijuana in greenhouse. Now there is science evidence showing that marijuana grow under light have some other adverse effect. So the need for direct sunlight, which Grenada and the Caribbean is, privy and prime real estate for growing such marijuana, is ideal. So we need to look at all those factors and make your law tailored to the problem that you see encountered by the countries that were ahead of you. Grenada being the last country to implement that legislation should have the best legislation as it is.
Are we the last?
Yeah, we practically the last. All other countries have some form of
St. Lucia?
Yeah, St. Lucia, Antigua, all of them have something on in that passed through Parliament. But look at the growth in the industry. Even Jamaica, look Trinidad. Trinidad have so much problem. Every day you have a lot of weed being smuggled, people going to jail, and they have same thing. You could go five. I think in Trinidad you could go 5 trees in the back of your house, and that doesn't provide the demand the demand for marijuana. Even though you tell them they could smoke and you could go 5 trees, the importation of illegal marijuana is huge. So you have to look at all of those things and create an industry that benefit you economically and benefit the people, the farmers. The farmer that interested to go and start growing marijuana, he should be able to say, okay, well, a license is, he fall in a category where he could pay $100 for a license and I'll go in and buy a license and start to grow marijuana. The man that decide, okay, you go grow it, I have never farmed before, but I want to grow it, and my license class is $2,500. Let me go and buy that license and go through the ropes and get it and start to grow marijuana. The big company that want to come and say, oh, Grenada has the ideal condition, the ideal location, soil, sun, everything, are coming to Grenada and invest. My license is $1 million. I'll buy $1 million license and grow. That is how you should structure your thing. I mean, how long it would take from that legislation they passed to bring it to a legislation where it would be industrial and it would be beneficial for everybody financially.
Doc, you're the scientist here, and I want to you understand the terminology THC and CBD as it relates to cannabis.
Yeah, those are compounds that are obtained, chemical compounds that have medicinal benefits obtained from the cannabis plant. In fact, our scientists spent years developing various strains that enhances the potency and the concentration of those compounds in the various plants that they researched. In fact, let me just make a point here. There was a period in time when, for a few decades, when marijuana was prohibited in the Caribbean, right?
Mhm.
And in North America. But meanwhile, the government had universities doing research in specific areas, including improving the strains of various varieties of the marijuana,
Mhm.
including obtaining strains that produce greater concentration of certain compounds of the THCs, etc., that have medicinal benefit. And not just USA did that, The UK did the same thing. But yet still, for them, it was important that we, as small island territories in the Caribbean, prohibit and make marijuana illegal. But let me just highlight how much they're benefiting right now. A while ago, we talked about manufacturing, right? Manufacturing in this case takes the raw material cannabis, okay,
Mhm.
and extract the various chemicals, including the THCs, etc. And guess what some of those compounds do? They can produce anti-pancreatic cancer products, okay? They also have pain killer effects. They also have anti-glaucoma effects. They also have obtained compounds that deal with the issue of multiple sclerosis. So imagine those compounds, medicinal compounds, are now extracted from the marijuana we produce here in Grenada. Could you imagine the economic value that those compounds bring to our society? Could you imagine now, instead of the farmer planting the marijuana for smoking, he or her selling that to the processor or the manufacturer, who goes about extracting and fractionating the oils from those cannabis and then selling the various components or products that will be used by medicinal practitioners to treat various ailments. And that's where we should be going. That's what our legislation should have been discussing. How can we as a people make the best use of the cannabis production here in Grenada so as it benefits our economy in the long term? Instead, what do? We get bogged down with the petty issue of smoking.
Yeah, because
So
I
again, that highlights two things:
Mhm.
where our priorities are, and the lack of use of the technical, professional, scientific resources we have here in Grenada. Sorry, go
Because
ahead.
my chart here that I did a bit of research and came up with, it says that THC, it will give you a high, psychoactive. Correct, Doc?
Well, I would imagine it will have
Yeah.
some
But it says
mild
that
effect.
CBD does not give you a high.
Yes.
It says that THC will impair driving. CBD, on the other hand, does not impair your driving. Medical use, saying that THC limited and controlled in terms of medical use, but CBD is widely accepted on the medical scale. Addiction risk, moderate with THC and very low with CBD. And what is important for me here, the most important one, Doc, is youth risk. Now, because it gives you a high, the youth risk is very high with THC and very minimal with CBD. Those are some of the things we can look at as it relates to what are two of the main components of the marijuana. Can I say that? Can I safely say that?
Yes, yes. Two main categories of the product, the products from the marijuana. In fact, you're basically highlighting the side benefits, or sorry, the side effects
Mhm.
of the use of the medicinal compounds from marijuana, which is a factor that relates to almost all medicines. Most medicines have side effects. So yeah, you're making a very valid point there.
And even now, in let's say in America, they have a hemp industry or a CDB. CDB is basically what hemp you grow hemp, and you extract CDB from hemp. That is a plant that produces flower and seed, meal, everybody together, and you extract those compounds. Now, the industry has gone so wild that those guys stick in CDB, and once you heat that to a certain degrees, it now produce what they call delta 8, which is illegal in the CDB industry because it becomes as high as THC. you know, so all those information, all those loopholes, all those the industry is growing rapidly. The THC sector, fellas now start the genetics of a marijuana that grows for flower for producing THC. They now mix in and grow that genetics that it becomes so high. It everybody want a high, and that high is becoming too high. Basically, because you're overdoing it. It's like excess. The excessiveness of those things now is creating a set of problem and side effect, and they're running away from the actual medicinal value of the plant. So we had to be very concerned in terms of legislation and what and how we do things.
One of the things that I'm very concerned about is the fact that because I don't believe that we have proper education, and that's from a holistic point of view. I don't believe that we have proper education, proper public education. And what this serves to do in the onset, it serves to make people assume that all cannabis is the same.
No.
And we should have proper public education which would tell us that all cannabis is not the same. Now, policy, policing, and parenting, Doc, these decisions hinge on understanding the difference between THC and CBD. Because if we do not understand that, then we're just going around in circles. The police, the parents, and the government were supposed to be doing the policy. Everybody just going around in circles, and we just end up like mad people.
And to be able to determine which plants produce the higher levels of the THCs or CBDs requires some quote-unquote investigative work, research, that would tell us which plants are high levels of THCs, which plants are high levels of CBDs, and be able to discriminate between the various plants so that at the end of the day, the people using the plants would have an understanding of what they're doing. Again, it highlights the importance of research, the importance of science application applied to a specific product. And again, it highlights the essentiality, and I keep emphasizing that, the need for us as a people to have a Ministry of Science and Technology. And to that, you could also add innovation. So that at the end of the day, we build a science culture among our people so that they have a better understanding of the stuff that we're doing, the stuff that we use, and therefore can be more discreet and discriminate as to what we use and what we don't use. But in the absence of that guidance and leadership led by our Ministry of Science and Technology, and if you include innovation, then we'll remain in ignorance as we are currently, because as I said, given the wide varieties of species or varieties we may have of the cannabis plant here in Grenada, who knows which one carries what products? Okay.
Here's a question.
Well, let me just add one additional point.
Yeah.
If Dalton is saying that one of the plants has a tendency to absorb significant concentrations of heavy metals, how do we know if there is any heavy metal in any of the products that we have here that ultimately can get into our systems? And heavy metals, I guess, in this case, refer to, for example, cadmium, which is what the people claim that accompanies phosphate when we apply fertilizer to the cocoa field. So, the application and use of science and the need for a Ministry of Science and Technology is overwhelming. But that is not the focus of our people. We are not focused on that because why? We prefer to, in a intellectually lazy way, deal with petty and small issues that have minimal significance for the national overall economic development and social and economic development and welfare of our people.
We got a caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Trey. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning. If you could speak up a bit, please, eh?
Yeah, Trey, good morning. Good morning to you guys.
Yeah, good morning, yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
You know, that old-fashioned method of ganja, or BJOC ganja. Because, most people, when they hear about ganja, they think about smoking. And most black people, and even white people, they want to smoke. So I'm saying that China has gone past the whole world. China is making synthetic marijuana, ganja, I spoke to the world right now. It's not really ganja. It look like ganja. It smell like ganja. It's loaded with chemicals to make you high. So we're talking about growing this here and this and that. China could just manufacture and say, no, you're easy like that and get our kids hooked and real hooked. So we are talking about going and plant it and manure it and this and that when this people are gunpowder and faking it now. So we have to understand that the world has moved real far. And then we talking about that. Let's imagine that corn is legal, melon is legal, cocoa is legal. Nobody's planted it in Grenada. You think they're going to grow marijuana? Think so? They're going to go just smoke that thing when China saying on you like crazy. That's what's going to happen to our people. China's going to follow the world, do this thing, and have us lead.
All right, have a wonderful day. Take care, sir. Thanks for calling. This is Real 91.9. 442-0175, 23 minutes on the upswing to the 10 o'clock hour. Andrew Donald BJ's left us this morning. He has to go do cultivation in relation to, is it cultivation or harvesting? Harvesting in relation to bananas. I haven't had a banana in about 8 weeks. Yeah. Doc, when's the last? Doc, you laughing? Yeah. BJ, I find BJ scheming on the bananas, man. He's scheming on the bananas. That's not a good thing, Doc, is it? It's not a good thing at all. Well, I just like to tell folks a little bit about THC.
Yes.
No, folks have to understand that THC is a chemical that can get you high.
Yes.
It affects the brain, and it slows down your reaction time. It affects your judgment. It affects your memory, your coordination. Everything that is affected here by THC. So one would say that, Doc,
yes.
THC as a compound, it raises red flags when it comes to driving, operating machinery, being around children, mental health, especially to young people. If someone smokes cannabis and feels intoxicated, impaired, or buzzed, is it safe to say that that is THC at work?
Not necessarily, Not necessarily, because we do not know what other substance the person may have used.
Yeah.
Along or before the
that. But if it is only if they're only been smoking, then it will be THC at work.
You can suspect. You can
suspect that it is. But now, which brings me to this question now. At a bar, if you go to a bar right now, any bar you go to right now, you have the first drink, and especially if it's a bar where you're accustomed going, you have the first drink, you have the second drink, you have the third drink. By the time you hit the fourth one, your bartender is looking at you and he's realizing, okay, that is probably a little bit too much for Dr. Antoine tonight. So by the time you take the fifth one, you'll say, bro, I kind of believe that you've had enough. Because the bartender is the first person to suspect. And then your friends would probably do so and start to notice, because you might be staggering and, not being coherent and everything like that. So your friends start to notice that. That is alcohol. If you're smoking and you smoke first spliff, second spliff, third spliff, who tells you that, hey, there is enough spliff you're smoking there? Is there anybody to tell you that? What are the effects? What am I? If I'm your friend, what am I supposed to be looking for to tell you, Francis, you've had enough? What am I supposed to be looking for? Tell me. You're the doctor.
Well, I guess incoherence in terms of your speech, for example, right, or in terms of your balance. I guess those are signs that show that you're not all too coherent, because you may have lost some. You have decreased your intellectual capacity at the point, and therefore you can easily lose control of your driving if you are driving.
But hold on. there are those who would tell you that when you smoke weed, you get high and you reason better.
I would say this.
Oh.
I wouldn't say no that if you use a particular stimulant, it does not enhance to a certain level the sharpness of
But
your
it
brain.
is
But
weed
hold on,
as
but beyond
is
that
weed,
level, it begins to decrease and it drops quickly. To
is
the
weed a
point.
stimulant or a depressant?
Ah, that's a good question. Isn't that why people use it?
I don't know.
That's
I'm
why
asking: is it a stimulant or is it a depressant?
well, I guess
Because
it has.
if it slows you down,
Yes,
it
but
can be a stimulant.
but remember what I said a while ago.
Mm.
It stimulates your mental sharpness up to a certain point, and then beyond that, it goes down and drops down quickly. The question is, each individual will have that point at which their sharpness decreases, right? So you have to use, for example, one like me, right? I have to manage carefully how much shots
Of the woodman you take.
I could take, yes. Because I know my limit. I know my limit. But
Yes.
once I go beyond that, I know I become a bit oozy or boozy or whatever you want to call it, and therefore I lose control. So what I do is I manage my intake on a daily basis because I know that's the amount I can consume, especially before and after eating a meal, So that's how I use my product. And too many of us, for example, end up using many of these stimulants in the absence of sufficient food in our system. That's why most of our farmers used to always say, make sure you eat properly before you start drinking when you come from the lands. I mean, and there's scientific reason behind that. Most medicines they tell you take with a meal, and there's a reason for that. So, yes, some stimulants would enhance the sharpness of your response to various stimulus, but beyond a certain point, they become ineffective and useless. I don't know what Dalton will say to that. And by the way, I don't use I don't use any of the THCs or CBDs. What I do is I use the sugarcane product.
No, you don't use THC, you don't use CB,
But I use the sugarcane product.
but you use RUM.
Sugarcane product. I use sugarcane juice.
I got you there, Doc. I got you
Yeah.
there. Good old woodman. Good old
Yes.
woodman. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good old woodman. You're saying something, Dalton?
Yeah, again, the industry has created a lot of narratives, and you have to look at who narrative are being, highlighted and why. So the American would have a particular narrative because they had an industry that so wrong CDB. Because some narrative would tell you that the THC best fight cancer and best fight pain. That's one narrative. And the other
But
narrative
CBD is also noted for being a pain reliever.
yeah, because the American industry was surrounded and legally, federally around CDB, while THC was not. THC is the illegal side of it, or some states would have the legalization of marijuana, and you could go and get it around THC. And so those are the different narratives that fight each other. So, and everybody waiting on America to federally legalize the other aspects so that you could financially move capital through the world. So those narratives, we have to understand those narratives, why it is being propagated and thing. The marijuana that is localized is basically the sativa types to our region. While we may grow indica, indica have a large percentage of THC, and those are the types that the foreign guys would, boof up. Years ago, you have a thing they call gorilla glue, a specific indica.
Years ago, it's still there.
Well, yeah, it's still there, but now you have things that surpass the gorilla glue in terms of THC levels and everything. And I remember listening to Sidman, and based on Sidman advice, I try to protect two distinctive localized marijuana. And one, I got it from Grenada, the seeds, because what I realized, because Grenada is difficult to grow with for years because of the restriction The few guys that grow marijuana in Grenada all years had a localized strain from St. Vincent that they lost in St. Vincent. And then you have a localized Jamaican weed that also was lost. And I was fortunate enough to have seeds from those two varieties.
You could have gone to jail, bro.
No.
Look.
In St. Vincent,
Oh,
talking
in
about.
St. Vincent, I thought you were talking about here.
No, but yeah, one of that St. Vincent localized strain, which is a sativa, the seed was protected here in Grenada, in a sense. Whilst everybody in St. Vincent was rushing and bringing all different varieties to grow and moving away from the localized strain, they realize now that they have to go back to the localized strain. And those are the problems that the industry face and see and realize. And then the new way that St. Vincent plan on going now is to create a regional body that manages those things so that the region could benefit and not based on the international laws as it relates to exporting the product. Because the kind of a plant as a medicine has to be consistent producing that particular
Correct.
compounds every time. And the dynamics in growing and farming might change based on the soil. One of the companies that are involved in, the soil that we use to grow, that soil has to be to the T, the microbes, everything in that soil has to be to the T, because one different microbe in that soil could change the whole structure of the plant. And so all those things has to be in consideration, and all those things has to be in legislation as it relates to how you grow and all those things. So that industry that is now created here, you could realize it is just basically for smoking and for vendors. So you come and you become a vendor, not really a producer to produce and then
But
manufacture.
you can't sell.
Yeah, I see something in
You
one of
can't
the
sell.
highlights that you'll be able to sell.
No, you can't sell.
Well, we don't have no license and nothing that relates to.
You can't sell the weed.
So how you getting wood to smoke?
Grow your own.
Four trees.
Do like Forbes Burnham says, eat what you grow what you want to smoke.
But yeah, you could grow a weed tree that would produce at least 2 pounds.
A weed tree can give you between 2 to 6 pounds if it is grown outside.
Yeah, you could grow a tree to produce any kind of pound you really want to grow. Well, I would grow some nice weed tree down by me.
Well, I would love for a couple of plants.
I could give you a seed from a
No, I want seed, I want cutlings.
You want cutlings?
Yeah.
But then you have to have a mother tree. Once you create a mother plant, then you get cuttings from the mother plant.
You need to give me some seeds, so I'll hatch them and then I'll do cutlings after.
Yeah, you select a female and you select a male.
But how do I know?
All right, and that is one of before I got the many times I got it involved in the industry. The first person I went to was my uncle here in Grenada. He used to grow a lot of weed as a little boy. That is DJ Packy.
Okay, yeah.
So I went and listened to DJ Packy.
Man, speaking on the man, next thing is a good thing Packy's no longer with us. The next thing they're going to lock him up.
And that was in the 80s. In the 80s, we grow weed like in Grenada here was some sort of legal in a way, Then the PRA started to clamp down on marijuana. But in my time, I know fellas growing weed in portrait and, like practically legal.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And then Uncle Marcel then led me to a gentleman. He's still around, calling him. But he's also my cousin. He's our cousin as well. And I listened to them. And then I went in St. Vincent and I started doing research with the old farmers. Called a farmer organization with them as well. And in the days, they tell me they could identify a female based on the quantity of leaves. That strand supposed to have 5 strands, right? A weed leaf. So you have a 5 strand.
Yeah, 5 strands.
Yeah. So a female would have 5 and less. The minute time you see a plant with more than 5 is a male. But no longer, I grow weed now because of the corruption of all those different genetics. And they start making those different genetics. You see a plant that give you more than 5 leaves, but yet it becomes a female. So a lot of confusion. Just like you don't know what gender is. They have that gender problem with human beings. The plants become gender problem.
So you having
problematic.
transgender weed, doc. You having transgender weed. The weed,
Yeah,
weed and all, they even know their gender.
yeah, you understand. So yeah, those are the initially you could have identified plants like that or the marijuana like that, but now it's a problem.
Doc, will the conversation help? The conversation that we are having and others may have, will it help us? Do you think that the powers that be may take advice and seek to have amendments to the act?
Well, I would hope that the people listening or hearing us would be able to advise the policymakers. And yes, it ought to help in terms of two things: stimulating interest and further clarification and knowledge on the specific aspects of the marijuana plant and its chemicals. And then secondly, in terms of how we go about prioritizing our decisions and policy making, so that there is a greater application of our scientific knowledge as regards the plant and its benefits and adverse effects, and therefore how do we move forward. But more importantly, focus on, if we're going to deal with that issue as an agricultural crop, how we can better make use of the value added products to be obtained from that plant, i.e. the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, and CDBs, the cannabidiol compounds, So until we move to that scientific phase of discussion and policy making as regards the marijuana, until then, I would think it wouldn't benefit us at its maximum, if I may speak that way. But yes, I trust and I hope that the policymakers are hearing us and therefore would take into consideration some of the views, if not all of the views that we've expressed, and therefore draw back and pull up, as we say, and go back to the drawing board and refocus our efforts and attention to things of greater importance.
Dalton, your final words on this?
It's a challenge for the industry as it is now to become commercialized. I feel sad to know that we only resort to smoking per se, and I saw that was coming. But I don't think it is too late to make the necessary changes because that would just run us into problem. Look at Trinidad, look at Jamaica in terms of the industry that they created. And Grenada has a lot of potential. We may feel that we missed the bus in terms of investors like in St. Vincent, that injected a lot of millions of dollars in the industry. We don't miss the bus because the people that involved in the governing sector of the industry here have to be deep into it and understand the world players and how you play. You don't fall in love with weed, so you eat, sleep, drink weed every single day. So you're able to understand the industry and do the best for the people and for the industry. The industry have a lot of potential, and don't just throw it away because I do really believe the Canadian have influenced that legislation. And if not, then you as doctor would say, you're not your minds are too lazy in terms of going beyond and outside of the box to create a proper industry for us.
Doc, if you had to get into the business, where would you be getting in?
I'll be getting into the extraction of the various medicinal compounds that will have application in dealing with various ailments here in Grenada. Remember, Andre, in the 1970s, early 70s, the University of the West Indies identified that cannabis has the potential to assist and treat glaucoma.
Mm-hmm.
After that, there was a move to ban the use of marijuana based on foreign imperialist dictates that kind of stifled the UE investigative research on the issue and uses of marijuana. And so UE laid back and did nothing in terms of research on the plant and its health benefits that they already identified. Meanwhile, the some of the institutions in North America and the UK were actually actively developing various strains, already knowing the potential that the plants have. So we are basically, I would say, anyway, 50 years behind the curve in terms of being able to benefit, as Dalton said, from the use of marijuana. But I guess it's still not too late because there is potential for a number of things. And so the focus would have to be, in my opinion, on the value-added products obtained from the resins and the essential oils of the marijuana plant. And that, in essence, also is analogous to making use of the value-added products we obtain from the various fruits and vegetables and flowers that we have and other plants we have here in Grenada. So that's my view.
Doc, do you have flower pots?
We can obtain some flower pots if Andrew Donald needs some for his farm. For his,
I need only 4 flower pots. Only 4.
We'll pick you up 4 flower pots. And I'll try and get it to you next week when I come up.
Do you have potted soil, or do you have natural manure?
No, natural manure could obtain from any people who raise goats or cattle or rabbits or.
Let me ask Dalton. Dalton, can I use natural manure?
Yeah, you could use natural manure. And matter of fact, I brought in some of those specialized
seeds
material to grow organic marijuana. So I have some I could give you.
But yes, I want to put my 4 pots there, but I'm gonna grow it inside because I know it have wolves. I know it have wolves. So I have to grow it inside. But I'm gonna grow my 4. I'm gonna grow my 4. Believe you me. If there's one person growing 4 is Andre.
So they allow you to grow 4 plants according to the law, right? The legislation.
Yeah, 4 plants.
In which case, I wouldn't be an accomplice in you producing marijuana.
No. But you can grow your 4 too, Doc. Yeah. But I'm wondering here if you can grow 4 by the factory and then 4 at home.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. But if I'm going to pursue that, Andre, I'm going to seek a license so that I could produce sufficient for research purposes and commercial production.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. I would tend that, seek the license. But I don't even think, but let me not preempt. But let's see what comes out of it in terms of license. Start putting those things to the wheel, Doc.
All right. I'll see what I can give thought to. Yes. Thanks very much.
All right. Take care of yourself, and thanks again for yet another wonderful Thursday.
Thank you to our audience. Thank you to you, Andre, and thank you for accompanying us during our discussion this morning. Nice to see you, Dalton. I hope I see you later on today. you better come to Grenville.
I'll pass by you.
All right. Okay, brothers. Take care of yourselves, and again, I wish you guys the best of today. Thursday.
Yeah,
thank you.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.